is a nice sweater.
Thanks. My grandma knitted it for me before she passed away.
Oh, that is so nice. I mean, not that your grandmama passed away, but I'm saying that she knitted it before. It's a very nice sweater.
Thanks. I only wear it on special occasions.
Did you wear it at your grandmama's funeral?
Welcome back to Kenan and Kel with Adam and Aaron. I'm Adam.
And I am Aaron.
And we're back with another episode 6 of the show, Kenan and Kel, the 96 Nickelodeon sitcom. Mo Sweater Blues.
Oh yeah. It's a good one, people.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this. This is like one of my go-to when it comes to showing this show to other people.
It's a classic for sure. I remembered it when I was watching it, and I don't remember all of them, so it was good.
Some other ones like Da Bomb I saw once, and like I don't have the urge to share this with anyone.
Hey, don't you diss Da Bomb.
All right, do you have an intro for us to kick us off?
I do. We all have our favorite article of clothing, whether it's a shirt or a jacket or sweatpants or a sweater. It's proven to be a warm and comforting fabric that makes you feel at home. You wear it so much you probably remember when and where you bought it. It's been such a part of your life that wearing it becomes a habit, whether it matches your outfit or not. Its meaning to you is deeper than clothing. Each thread tells a story, and that worn-out elbow is a part of your memoir. It becomes a part of you. It's fascinating, really. Most of us have a lot of clothes that we never wear. We save certain clothes for special occasions, and years go by without them being worn. But no matter how many clothes we have, we always return to that one favorite article. Day after day, it's your shield against the uncertainties of the world. For Brianna, the most important piece of clothing she has ever owned was a sweater, hand-knitted by her deceased grandmother. It's the only relic she has of her, and wearing it unites her with her history in a way no other sweater or piece of clothing ever could. But Kenan and Kel simply cannot honor its sacredness. They seem wholly incapable of respecting another's most meaningful belonging. Of course, even when failure seems inevitable, telling the truth would be just too hard.
And there you go. It's true. This could have been avoided pretty easily.
This could have been avoided like from the first moment of headache.
But that's not the show that we're watching. This is a game of escalation that we're about to take part in.
Yeah, it's how much escalation can reasonably occur while still within reason.
All right, well, let's get into it.
Please.
So Coolio brings us in. we sit down on the couch.
Amazing.
And watch Kenan and Kel intro the show. Kel is eating an onion, but like not really, if you noticed.
I couldn't tell. It looked pretty believable. Like he was putting his teeth up to it and everything.
He did a real good job.
Yeah, okay. Oh, good acting there.
I've got an onion prop theory.
What is it? What is it?
It looks like it's like an onion with one bite taken out of it. And he just keeps going after that one bite.
It's possible. It's very possible. But nevertheless, very strange.
Kenan calls him out on his funky onion breath.
And Kenan gets all excited because he wants to ask a girl out on a date, but of course he can't have a bite of Kel's onion.
So they quickly end the scene. Kel, here it goes. And I noted something from last time. We had a discussion whether or not this was a real set or like a green screen type thing.
Yeah.
I felt pretty confident that's not a green screen in this go around.
Really? Okay.
The curtain pulls back and you see the camera like push into it. There's a big zoom there that happens.
Interesting.
You see the floor kind of change the format, and Cal's not in the scene behind you. It's just Kenan.
I'm not discounting it. It's definitely possible. Maybe.
Like I said, in later seasons, I think you see more of like it opens up and Kel's there already, like in a different outfit. So maybe they eventually do green screen, but this one felt real.
I don't know. because Kenan's like right in the scene right away when we pan out, and he just left, and he's wearing a totally different outfit. So
Oh yeah. Well, it's like I think this shot of Kel going, "Ah, here it goes." It cuts new for that. So
Okay.
any amount of time could go between those two.
okay, maybe. One thing I wanted to note is that just how unique these intros are. Like, I think that's what makes this show so approachable, and so fun. It's because they do these fun little intros where Kel's just like wearing a bowling shirt, and like eating an onion, and it just makes everybody like laugh, and it gives people a good like
It's a good sample of what you're like in for.
yeah. But it also they're not like negligible, like they matter in terms of setting the context for the episode and then wrapping up the episode. Like, they're a part of the show, which I think is I was thinking about that a little bit, and it's one of the things that sets this show apart, whether for good or bad.
Some of them, especially in this first season, have been a little more unrelated. But
Yeah.
no, these I thought it's been a good run thus far.
Yeah.
Okay, so bringing us into Rigby's. I want to say, just like kind of early on here, the first half of this episode is, I think, like the best like the show has ever been.
So far, or like ever?
Like so far, definitely.
Okay.
But it's just like we were talking about, like, hitting singles and doubles last time.
Yeah, these are triples and homers.
Yeah, absolutely. So Chris is complaining about a headache that he has.
Yeah, he walks out and he goes, "Oh, my head."
He has to Kenan toss him about aspirin, which Kenan does, and it hits him in the head.
Of course. And he said, "I said toss, not heave." Of course, just
You
like
heaved.
yeah, of course. They just like keep saying the word heave because it's so it's just a weird word. It's like
Yeah.
it's like moist.
But and then Kenan follows up with, how long have you had a headache? And then Chris says, "Ever since I hired you." it's nonstop jokes in like this whole first half.
It's true.
When I was taking notes, I'm like, am I writing down like every line?
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. And then I slowed down my note taking because I was like, I don't want to write 6 pages of notes and the whole entire script. That wouldn't be that fun.
No.
But yeah, but that was really good. Yeah, I noticed that too. It definitely like a lot of back and forth, and it's just like fast paced. From like a literature approach, it's like these are all good hooks because they want you to keep watching because it's so amusing right away.
Sure. And then Chris ends the bit with him smashing the aspirin with a fire extinguisher.
Yeah, he says, "Darn these child-proof caps." And then Kenan's trying to tell him how to do it. He's like, "Press it in and turn it to the left. In to the left." And then Chris puts it down on the counter, just pulls out the giant metal fire extinguisher and destroys it. He is so over this headache.
And this, I don't know if you've noticed, but this is like the first in several like callbacks throughout this episode to other episodes that have gone through. There's a real continuity that, like, you feel that when they wrote this episode, they looked at all the previous ones. Last time he did a fire extinguisher gag was in Mental Telepathy, where he like sprayed the customer. You remember?
Right, bro. Of course. How could I forget?
It's becoming like his signature item.
Yeah, because it's just a ridiculous item.
Another ridiculous item Chris has is, did you notice his mug?
No.
It's got like the 90s like white cup blue like wave pattern on it.
Oh.
They're like you know when you recognize it, but it's a mug. It's a mug
that's
with
funny. Yeah. Like the most classic paper cup in the world, except as a mug. That is funny.
It's really I like want that mug.
Maybe when we start making merchandise.
Oh sure, yeah.
So then Kel enters, and he asks Kenan for $1.
Kenan points him to the register, which he opens, and it hits Chris in the head.
It's just nonstop. Just
continues, and it keeps going. It's great.
The show could almost be called like The Miserable Life of Chris.
Yeah, I thought like the funniest Chris has been so far. It's some of it's stuff happening to him, but it's also how he reacts to those things that makes it great.
Yeah, and also like there's very much the from Kel, but also Chris, like the slapstick nature of the comedy is very, very apparent in this first scene. And I think this is like, there's been a good amount of it so far, but they're really kind of like hitting their stride here.
There's a really good moment later in the scene that shows it off well. Kenan's trying to smell all nice.
Why?
He's going to ask out Brianna.
Brianna from episode 2, 3?
Three.
Three.
Doing things to Hemingway. So yeah, another callback.
Good. I mean, they're really, it's the same universe for sure.
Yeah, and last time he tried proclaiming his love for her atop the Sears Tower.
How could we forget?
We didn't. And yeah, now it's Friday, the day she buys her fruits. And he decides between, was it flowery smells or like a spicy lumberjack?
Feminine breeze or a spicy lumberjack. Mm-hmm. And then Kel's helping him out, like pick out which deodorant to use. First off, these look like spray paint cans. Like they're massive 90s deodorant. And Kenan decides that his left side is his naughty side. He'll put that's where he'll put the spicy lumberjack, and then on the right side he'll put the feminine breeze.
Yes, which is very, very good.
And then there's a really funny line, like Kel starts sniffing him, and Kenan says, "How many times do I have to tell you not to sniff people?" Just like
again, they're just nonstop. Every line's another joke.
Yeah, it's
great.
It's good stuff.
Brianna comes in, going to buy her fruits, gets a grapefruit.
One grapefruit.
One grapefruit.
Fruits for the week.
And Kenan says, "A beautiful piece of fruit for a beautiful piece of girl."
And then Kel gives him a little crap for that.
But then he asks her out for tomorrow night, to which she agrees. And they don't really make any more plans beyond that.
Yeah, that always confuses me about like sitcoms and people asking people out. Like what action? How do you know where to show up? It's
maybe like they talk at school later. Or...
I mean, I know, but it always bothers me. It's like, can't you just make a plan there? Like, yeah, meet me here, or maybe at my house. But anyways, pet peeve of mine.
Yeah, but it was a really great line when as she's leaving, like they're. I think Kenan like ad libs. He's like, "Oh yeah, better bring that backpack."
Yeah. It's so strange.
But yeah, they celebrate afterwards, which is very fun. I always like seeing them have a good time together.
Yeah. I mean, and they're so excited for each other. That's like, it's so fun.
And Kel says, "How sure she'd say no?"
Yep.
To which Kenan gets upset. Kel reminds Kenan that Kyra has he's supposed to watch Kyra tomorrow night.
Yep.
To which Kenan, more slapstick, bodily reacts to this news.
Yeah, like it's the
He's
worst.
Like waving his arms and kicking his legs and.
Yeah, not like he doesn't instantly go into the problem-solving phase. He kind of just throws a little fit first.
So what was Kenan's plan here?
So Kenan, of course, gets the devious look in his eyes, which we all know that's like Kenan's signature. And then he walks over to the fridge. And he grabs a giant bottle of orange soda, 2 liter, and he says to Kel, "Hey, Kel," or he says, "Who loves orange soda?"
Kel loves orange soda.
Is it true? Is it true?
I do, ooh.
And this is the first time that Kel's famous little jingle was ever used against him.
Yes, right.
And so, yeah, Kenan promises Kel a whole case of orange soda if he watches Kyra.
Now, I've got a question for you. How many orange soda 2 liters are in a case?
More than there should be.
Yes, a case is a whole lot.
Who buys cases of 2-liter sodas?
Grocery stores, apparently.
Maybe.
But I do want to make it clear. He didn't... These are stolen from Rigby's. He didn't purchase them. He literally says, "Who wants a free case?"
Yep.
Like, you're not paying for it. I'm not paying for it.
So that'll go in the total.
Yep. He also gave Brianna the free grapefruit.
Yep. And not to mention the $1 that Kel took out of the register.
And the deodorant.
The two bottles of deodorant. Yeah, we're really just using up Rigby's supplies here.
I was going through it earlier, and it's getting sort of close to that Skunkator total.
We're getting there. We're getting there for sure.
Kel agrees, and we cut back to the Rockmore household
With the transition of orange soda.
And this is where I got the full total of 2 liters in a case, because on that table there are 9 bottles of orange soda.
The perfect 9, like that's such an even number, you know.
Yeah, I imagine a case is like a square. You know, like they kind of corner to corner, 3 by 3.
Maybe. I mean, maybe.
But he also gave him one just right there off the shelf. So
but it's
10 go into his possession.
2 are already like consumed.
Yes, which is very funny.
This is so bad for Kel and his health.
This is the most he's got like had in one sitting so far, maybe ever.
Yeah, maybe we'll keep track of that. But
I am keeping track.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, anyways, we pan to the Rockmore's living room, and Kel is drinking orange soda next to Kyra, and Kyra keeps trying to scooch closer to him, and she just can't stop looking at Kel.
Well, she says a great line here. How did he get so cute? To which he replies, "I eat ham." A callback to the second episode, Tainting of the Screw. And Kel has a love of ham. It's still part of his character.
We are really like developing that character of Kel.
It's whoever wrote. I think the team that wrote this episode really tapped into the whole true potential of these characters.
I bet they were like, okay, guys, these first few episodes weren't the best. We need to really, really knock it out of the park here if we want to stay on air.
It feels almost like a season finale, like all this stuff coming into play.
Yeah. No, it's good. All right, let's up. So Kenan walks down the stairs, and the audience gives him like a woo and like claps.
I think about the foot tap that he does at the bottom of the stairs all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think about that whenever I'm like, dressed nice.
Well, and it's funny because it's like clearly they're hooting and hollering because they think Kenan's dressed nice, but Kenan is wearing a flannel, buttoned up all the way. It's like a light gray flannel with a navy suit jacket and a pair of jeans.
Yes.
Baggy jeans.
Now, honestly, I was thinking about this, and I would probably wear this on a date myself. Like the suit jacket is like a little extra, but the flannel and jeans.
You do like your flannels and jeans.
Nice button down.
Maybe your style is so influenced by these early 90s shows that you loved so dearly.
That could be it. But it doesn't. Who do you think is dressed nicer, Kenan or Brianna, who shows up?
Definitely Brianna. She's dressed like like it's a black tie event.
And she's wearing something real special.
Yes, what she's wearing is a beautiful white sweater.
So they very shortly, make themselves at home. She sits on the couch, passes it along. Kenan compliments her on it, and she says that, yes, it was made by her grandmama who passed away. And
Kenan says, "Oh, that is so nice." To which he instantly tries to dig himself out of the grave. Like she's no pun intended. She has been here for about 30 seconds and he already like screwed up.
Yeah. He says, "Oh, that's so nice." Not that your grandma passed away.
But yeah, he just starts like stammering and like walking backwards.
Well, then she says, "I only wear it on special occasions." To which Kel says, maybe my favorite, my best laugh of the episode.
Yep.
Did you wear it to your grandmama's funeral?
Yep. I stopped the episode and was just laughing out loud at this point. That is so funny. It's like
that's really good writing.
Yeah, it's a clever joke. It's really well done. It's like you couldn't have made it funnier.
Yeah, and that's never appropriate. It's like He's so just in the wrong.
But the best part is it just drills into that mistake that Kenan made, where he just brought up how her grandmother's dead and just couldn't get out of it.
It summarizes their dynamic very well. Kenan makes a mistake, does something crazy, and Kel makes it worse.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's awesome. Kyra shows her to the bathroom. She says, "I'll be right back, Kel. Take your time."
Yes. And so then they walk upstairs to go to the bathroom, and Kenan,
leaving Kenan and Kel alone with something important, which is not a good plan.
they have the sweater and 9 bottles of orange soda, and for some reason Kenan is just sitting there admiring the sweater. And Kel sits right next to him, and then practically, spits out the orange soda. It like dribbles out of his mouth. He's drinking it, dribbles out of his mouth right onto the sweater. And it's like, I don't even know what to say about this.
Yeah, it's a rough start, but then it ramps up because Kel very smartly says, she won't notice that. And then Kenan's like, no, we gotta fix this right now, and takes it to the kitchen.
Yeah, odds are, she wouldn't have noticed it, or it would just come out in the wash.
Or you could have just said to her, hey, whoops, we got a couple drops here.
Yeah, but of course that would be way too boring of an episode. And Kenan, this is like I've been watching a lot of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and that show's great because it's like the opposite of Friends. Whereas in the Friends theme song, it's like I'll be there for you. Well, this show is like I won't be there for you, and that's why It's Always Sunny is so funny because they're just the worst friends ever. And then it's like and.
Kenan and Kel are definitely there for each other.
Yeah, they're there for each other, but
however, the world around them does not want to deal with them.
Exactly, and the show wouldn't be complete if they didn't have some crisis to, there's no good news here. It's pretty much always some kind of catastrophe that's incredibly embarrassing and just cringy.
Yep. So they go through the kitchen door, which is now a permanent fixture of the Rockwell house.
Oh, nice catch.
Yes. And Kenan starts to use cleaning solutions on it. He seems to be doing a good job, but then Kel takes some pizza out of the oven and...
Well, hold on. Slow down. Because Kel says something very important while they're running from the TV room to the kitchen.
What's that?
Kenan's pulling him along, and Kel says, "I was watching Bill Cosby." Anyways, so he pulls the pizza out of the oven, grabs a piece in his bare hand, and then he's walking over to Kenan's getting the sponge ready in the sink, getting it all soapy, and Kel walks over right in front of the sweater, takes a bite of the pizza that just came out of the oven that he's holding in his hand, and is instantly in pain. So he's looking for somewhere to spit the pizza, and long story short, the pizza ends up on the sweater with a giant pizza stain on it.
Yep. And Kel's reaction to this is another king moment of this episode.
This is classic Kel Kimball right here,
because it's very slapstick too. He tries to panic and run away. He goes to run outside, right? The door is locked, so he's panicking looking around the room. He looks at the trash can, climbs into it to try and hide himself. As Kenan's distracted in the kitchen, falls out of it, and then ultimately leans up against the fridge, looking cool.
Yeah, and you explained that in about 15 seconds. This takes a minute.
Yes.
Kel is running all over the place in the kitchen. And Kenan, of course, doesn't notice him. But yeah, he drops the pizza. He tries to smear it off. He tries to run away. Tries to hide. Everything to try to get out of the situation.
Yeah, and so it's not just the dialogue that's funny. It's just the pure writing of the scene is great.
Yeah, it's good. It's good acting by Kel too.
So yeah, Kenan turns around after a minute of getting soap on his sponge, and then freaks out.
Yes.
Yeah, they use cleaning solution. It's not looking good, right?
Nope. So what they decide to do is because Kyra and Brianna call them from the other room, they decide to just take the sweater as is, and Kenan quickly dons it on Brianna's shoulders.
Right. Kenan's parents come down and kind of mock him for being all sweaty.
And all nervous, yep.
Yeah, they think it's his date, but really it's not that he was doing great earlier, but especially because he's ruined his date's prized article of clothing.
You know, what I want to know is, like, you know, your date shows up to your house. It's like, well, why does she have to come in and sit down? Like, why aren't you just ready to go?
I gotta go to the bathroom.
I know, but
Yeah.
she didn't establish that. Like, he asked her to come sit down first. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. So the whole thing was just like,
I agree. They could also have totally just met at the restaurant.
yeah,
Right?
Yeah, that.
For all these vague plans.
Yeah. Also, where does Kenan live? Like, how close to? Anyways, these are all unanswerable questions.
No, I'm sure he's within like maybe 15 minutes from Rigby's, which is down the street from this Chinese food place. Parents leave to see a movie. Kyra verbally reacts to her sweater, and they kind of brush it off.
Yep, and so does Mrs. Rockmore. But right before Kenan shuts the door in her face, she goes, "What is
Right.
on?" And then, yep.
Which she should have totally opened the door and replied to that. It's weird that she just kind of let that one go.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. But we're about to ending the greatest first half of an episode so far.
Yep.
They start working on a plan to fix this, and Cal says, "Can a grandma just make another sweater?"
Yeah, that's like that's like hurtful. It's like to watch. It's like oh, that's so sad.
Kenan's like, "All right, come here. Her grandma's dead."
Yep, yells at her, and then he leaves to go to his date in the fine establishment that just opens.
Called Uncle Wu's.
Yes, a Chinese restaurant with the Chinese waiters and a very American hostess. Anyway,
I've got another theory here that this, because we later learn that they serve a poo-poo platter, is the same Chinese food restaurant as in the pilot episode.
Even though this one just opened.
Yes, that's a new one too, if I recall.
Oh.
Or it's not necessarily an old one.
It's possible.
Probably the same distance.
Possible,
You know?
not necessary, but it's possible.
No, right. Just trying to make it match all the episodes. But
So
yes.
the hostess says to Kenan, or she says to Kenan and Brianna, "How are you?" And Kenan goes, "I've been better," or something along those lines, which is just so like it just has to make Brianna feel so awkward. Like what is going on?
The last time I watched this episode, I watched it like kind of through Brianna's perception, and it's like the worst date ever.
It's so awkward.
Yeah,
Like,
she gets really gaslighted by Kenan a lot. As they sit down, they go through like a little bit about a table for 2 or 4 people because they invite Kenan's secretly getting Kel and Kyra here.
To try to save the sweater.
Yeah, but she keeps saying like, it's cold in here, and he's like, no, it's not. Oh, it's real hot. Just so that she doesn't look at her sweater.
Like what really bothers me here, because this is common sense. Kenan takes off his jacket, and she's sitting there all cold, and he doesn't want her to wear the sweater. Why doesn't he just put his jacket over her shoulders?
Oh, boy, that'd be a great move.
That would have been such a classy move.
Absolutely.
So Kenan really dropped the ball here, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and that's definitely in the 90s. You can do that.
Oh my gosh, you kidding?
Yeah.
That's today.
Yeah, I'm saying today and then way back then.
All the above.
So Kel and Kyra rush into the restaurant, and Kel has the excuse.
Kel says that Kenan forgot his toothbrush and hands it to him.
Yeah, so Kenan invites them to join them. So already date going bad.
Already, yeah. I mean, they're at the table for 4, but it's only them. He didn't say anything about them joining. He acts like it's just a coincidence that they were just at his house, and then they showed up there. And it's just getting much, much worse. And then, go ahead.
But we've got a great aside here. The waiter comes over to ask for their order, and Kel delivers. I think like this is it's like the best moment of the season so far. Maybe the whole series.
Okay, let's explain it, and then we'll break it down because I have some comments about this scene.
All right, why don't you explain it?
All right, so Kel orders. He opens the menu and he orders a bunch of things. Like hamburger, spaghetti and meatballs, a few other things, and a pitcher of their finest orange soda. And then the server replies, "Sir, this is a Chinese restaurant." To which Kel replies,
"Oh, I'm sorry."
And then he just spews out like all these Chinese sounding words, like a whole lot of them. And then the server replies, wait, what does he say?
He says, "You want to park your truck on my mother's face?"
And then he makes a move to come at Kel.
Yeah, so
which is okay, like
the layers of this joke are incredible.
They are. I mean, you just have to set aside the fact that it's horrendously racist.
It's 90s like dated.
It's not. Right? Yeah. I mean, it's 90. Like today, this would never ever fly on Nickelodeon. It definitely wouldn't fly at my university. But but I was watching this. I'm like, whoa, that is so funny, but incredibly just dated and distasteful.
Yeah, the first joke is Kel orders all this weird stuff, and then he the second layer is that he presumably on first glance then repeats it his crazy Americanized order in Chinese. The third layer, what he's actually saying in Chinese is something insulting to the waiter. And the fourth layer is the things that he's saying it themselves are really just weird and kooky on their own. He's got a sama say weird part in there.
Yeah, he's just spewing random Chinese sounding sounds.
So it's really good.
Which is funny because things like hamburger and spaghetti, I don't know if they have words in Chinese.
No, it's awesome moment.
It's a good moment. I just had to point out the almost blatantly very much that's a little offensive, but anyways, it's 1996 in
and it hasn't stopped yet because they keep laughing at the poo-poo platter.
Yes. He explains what a poo-poo platter is, but before that, they all say, "I don't want any poo-poo." Yep.
Yeah. So they order one. They make their way to the bathroom. Kenan gets the sweater off her chair by pretending to give her a shoulder massage.
Yes. Yeah. As Kel swoops the sweater away, which is I love this plan because they have no idea what they're gonna do once they get to the bathroom. They haven't thought it out in the slightest.
And it's apparent as soon as you get in there because their first move is to put it in the toilets.
No. Right? Their first move is Cal gets a bunch of hand soap on it, the pink hand soap in bathrooms.
Yeah.
He puts all that on, and then Kenan is just "Oh, you just got it soapy," and then he rinses it out. He puts it in the toilet, and flushes the toilet, and then it's soaking wet. And so Kenan says, "Oh, we're never gonna get this dry." And then Cal goes, "Oh, I think I can." And then he just wrings it out right over Kenan, and Kenan's all now.
It's a real I'd call it unappreciated moment of the episode. There's some great big laughs throughout it, but this one where Kel just points at that and he's like, "Ooh, you know what that looks like?" as Kenan's got water all down his pants now.
It's really good. I mean, I like this whole bathroom scene because it's just so it's so unsettling to do anything besides use the bathroom in a bathroom, but let alone trying to clean a hand knit sweater. It's just
and they're all this is the most extreme that all of them are like right now, because like even Kenan like takes off his pants and he's drying it there, like sitting on the counter. It ends with so they agree to head down to Rigby's,
but they don't agree. Kenan just instructs Kel to go down to Rigby's and start to like get cleaning supplies and clean it, which it makes me question, like, what is Kenan thinking? Like, why does he trust Kel enough to, like, he has made everything worse. Why does he trust?
Yes, he has.
Why does he trust him to now be like this hero who cleans the? Oh boy.
Yeah. So, I really like the part with him drying himself and someone else comes into the bathroom.
Yeah, that's really good, and he's so confused.
And Kenan exits the scene by like falling onto the ground and crawling out the door.
Yeah,
like it's just the funniest thing possible in every instance happens in this scene.
It's just so unnecessary, like to crawl out of. Oh, but it's really really well done. Yeah, this is as good as a bathroom scene can be.
Yeah. All right. Back at Rigby's.
Yep. Kenan takes his pants off and gives them to Kel to dry. Meanwhile, as Kel is finishing drying up the sweater with the hairdryer,
and it's not looking much better. Chris is there, and he proposes that they use the high-powered hose in the back.
This is this is actually my favorite moment of the episode.
Well, actually, but before this, really fast, there's another great line from Kel. He says, like, as they're dealing with this in the back Rigby's, what does he say?
He says, "Wouldn't it be great if this just never happened?" It's like, it's like this is all his fault. And he just keeps making it worse. And everything is so bad about this situation. And like his dates at the restaurant.
No awareness of it.
His dates at the restaurant, like with Kenan's younger sister, who's like 9, what was 6, I don't even know. And everything is horrible. And Kel's just like, yeah, what if this didn't happen? Oh my god.
Yeah, Kenan gets real mad at him. But then high-powered hose time.
Again, in my favorite part of the episode.
Why don't you describe it?
All right, so they go to the back alley of Rigby's, which is confusing. But anyways, there's this door, this metal like gate thing, and they put the sweater on top of the gate. But they don't have a hanger or anything, so what they have to do is they have to rest it, like, half the sweater is hanging.
Yeah, they drape it over.
They drape it over, yeah, exactly, over the gate. They get the high-powered hose, and they spray the sweater. But of course, the force of the hose knocks the sweater over to the other side of the gate.
Where it gets run over.
It gets run over by a car, but it looks like a back alley. Like, I don't know how a car ended up...
Yeah.
Like, it's
right.
very confusing. I get the joke, and it's really, really, really funny. But somehow the sweater gets, they are trying to say the sweater gets blown into the street and run over by a car, and then Kenan goes to retrieve it, and it has a tire track on it. And then Chris comes out and asks how it's going, and Kenan's standing there holding this sweater filled, with pizza stain, detergent, tire track, and Kenan is in his boxers with these high black socks and boots and a flannel, and it's just like, it's gotten so bad.
It's a really great image.
It's gotten so bad.
I love what Chris says too. He says, "Oh, it didn't work, huh?" Just really, once again, he's awesome this episode. Just real casual, like, "Oh, that didn't work."
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So they just flat run back to the Chinese place, not even worrying about Kenan's pants.
Not worrying about Kenan's pants. Not worrying about what they're gonna do when they get there.
No.
Anyway, so they walk in. Kenan's like hiding. He doesn't want to get seen, especially because he has no pants on.
He's like spanking along the waiter to rush him to the kitchen.
He's hiding behind the waiter and spanking him, which is very strange. Weird moment.
And Kenan's parents show up.
Not before Kenan makes his way to the kitchen,
Yes.
where the chef is very concerned that he has no pants on. and says multiple
Right.
times, asks him multiple times why he doesn't have pants.
Kenan puts the sweater into like a dishwasher type thing.
Yeah, it's a restaurant dishwasher.
Along with like a whole box of cleaner.
Yeah, a restaurant dishwasher.
Oh, you would know. With your experience working in a restaurant, does this kitchen match what you would
Oh,
say?
it's pretty accurate. I mean, I've never worked at a Chinese restaurant kitchen, but like, it seems pretty well laid out. The dishwasher, though, it's just kind of standing there on its own. There would usually be another sink next to it and a place to put dirty dishes. But anyways, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But I mean, what's amazing about this is Kenan puts the sweater in the dishwasher, closes it, it washes it, and then it's like perfectly new.
Oh yeah, it's like it worked. He did it. He pulled it off.
And it's dry, which wouldn't happen, but it's dry somehow.
Yeah, right.
And it's better. Like he fixed it.
It's better than before.
He put it
Yeah.
in a dishwasher, and now it's fixed.
Yeah, that's the great part about this episode. Like that they reclaimed it. It came back, and you can hear it like as Kel rushes into the kitchen. Like the audience is like really into it. That it's fixed and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like finally that we have some success in the Kenan and Kel franchise. Like something good happened.
Meanwhile, Kenan's parents arrive, and they see Kyra in the restaurant. I noted what they say. They say they were going to a movie, and then now they're talking about, oh, we're going to get some food after the movie. Wait, what are you doing here? But they had watched a whole movie, right? Like they arrived at the movie theater.
Oh yeah, the time frame is really messed up here.
So
that's been
Brianna
that's
and
not
Kyra
good.
have been there for like at least an hour and a half, just
like dilly-dallying, eating a poo-poo platter.
worst date ever. I don't know what.
Oh,
Brianna's
it's terrible.
thinking.
It's terrible. Just a side note, like I'm looking at an image of Kenan holding up the sweater after it's cleaned. That's just a normal sweater. It's so obviously like from Kohl's or something.
I'm surprised they didn't he didn't do the thing where you have to you try and replace it with something else. It looks the same.
Yeah, no, it's
Right.
like it's that's out of the
That's
question.
another classic sitcom game.
Yeah, that's out of the question because it's just a unique, but it's not.
Kel arrives in the kitchen, and things go bad again.
Yeah. Kenan's trying to show Kel, and Kel says like, "Let me see," and then they're holding it, both looking at it and admiring how clean it is. Meanwhile, it's on the grill.
Yeah, I like how they're both looking at it and celebrating, but not looking at it on the grill.
Yeah, because something starts to smell, and they go, "What smells like something's burning?"
Yeah, they smell it before they see it, which is crazy.
It's so. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, no, they freak out, drop it some more, and pull it off, and yeah, it's got it's been charred now. They fight over it, and what happens?
Kenan rips the sleeve off, and then Kel gets really upset, kind of really upset, and he's just more like doesn't want Kenan to be mad at him, so he's like, "Here, you can have it now."
So Kenan once again bodily reacts and it throws the sweater into a frying pan, like a fryer, and he says his first of the show, "Why?"
Oh, it's the first one?
Cal had one last episode.
Oh, right.
But yeah, this is Kenan's first
Yeah.
why.
Yeah, meanwhile, you look at them, it's like the classic, Kenan and Kel really messed up. Like, they're gonna get yelled at, and they, are just making these faces. Like, they're almost, crying. Their shoulders are raised up. Their faces are all scrunched up, and their eyebrows are raised, and they're like, "What's happening?" Yeah.
Yeah, they go back into the restaurant just crying.
Yep.
And their parents are upset, and Brianna's like, "I'm gonna leave." And so Kenan reveals what's become of the sweater. It is one-armed, and it is
Fried.
fried, yeah, totally.
Completely fried. Like if you took an article of clothing and you put it in a deep fryer. And
Shrunk, messed up, and
that is what happened to her sweater.
So yeah, she tell your grandmama I'm sorry. Kenan, her grandmama's dead. As a callback to right before the commercial last time. It's real good.
It's good, and it ends with Brianna just standing there with her crispy sweater, and everybody, Mr. and Mrs. Rockmore are mad. Kyra's just sitting there, and Kenan and Kel are just mortified, and that's the episode.
Yeah, you know it's a good episode when they've got nothing left in them. They're just like swaying back and forth, saying, "Oh man."
Nothing left and no ending needed. Like no, it's like this is how the show usually ends.
Yeah, we talked about how DeBomb was like handicapped in the ending. It just kind of like awkwardly passes. This is your escalation ending.
Yeah, it's like escalate, end.
Boom, like a big firework grand finale.
Yeah, it doesn't run out of steam. It's not too complex. It's kind of just like wrapped up nicely.
So back on stage. They have some Chinese food, which they've thrown out to the audience.
Yeah, they're throwing out ribs and they're throwing out shrimp and.
I think egg roll, which Kenan stops at. He's like, egg rolls were Brianna's favorite.
Because somehow he sat there long enough with her to know that.
To know anything about her. But he does something weird here. He commits to like, no, she's the girl for me. We're gonna make it work. I don't think Brianna's in any other episodes. I think it was just these two.
That's okay. That's okay.
Which good on her. She should not put up with this.
What are you talking about? He's so dreamy.
Very poorly treated. Just left in a Chinese restaurant for a couple hours.
Yeah, very bad date. All they could, if they just told the truth, if they just told her what happened. I got a little orange soda.
No, just been a regular bad date.
Yeah, I would have loved to see what would have happened if what actually was just Kenan and Brianna at the restaurant. Like that, it probably was inevitable that something horrible was going to happen.
Yeah, Kel would show up anyway.
Something would happen.
Or maybe something like okay, that he told her. Kenan confesses what happens, and then she's like, "Oh, it's okay." Then Kel comes in and still scheming and stuff behind her back.
Something would happen. Yeah.
Not that this needs work. This is a great, like, perfect.
Oh yeah.
episode.
Oh, it's perfect. But I do think that Kenan with Kel, they just create this like self-destructive reality. They can't help but destroy everything good that happens.
Absolutely. So last thing they say on stage, which I did not catch this. Kenan says to Kel, "Grab a bucket of glue, and meet me at the
church."
Church.
Yes.
I wrote like chili-cha.
No, he says church, and he's like, "Yeah, then meet me at the church."
Oh wow.
And then Kel says something, and then he says, "Kenan, thou shalt not glue." Kenan. Kenan.
Oh, that makes perfect sense now.
Yes. And then Kenan, oh, here it goes.
Yeah, very good, awesome time. So, at the end of this episode, whose fault do you think it was? Kenan's or Kel's?
Kel's fault. This time it's Kel's fault.
I was looking at Kenan a little bit because if you think about it, the reason why Kel's in his house with all that orange soda is because of him, because he stole from Rigby's. Yeah.
Well. Also, he didn't think, like, he was irresponsibly just making plans without, and he didn't, without, like, because a real honest person or a real responsible person would have, made plans for a different day.
Yeah, or he, like, kind of shirked his responsibilities to watch his little sister that he promised.
All right, so I think that, like, directly it's Kel's fault. Indirectly, it's very much Kenan's fault, because even Kenan, it's like, he's holding the sweater and Kel walks over with orange soda in his mouth. Like that's kind of on Kenan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kel, I think Kel has more strikes against the sweater than Kenan.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, no, I think Kenan deserves some of the blame, not all of it. This is a Kel problem.
Yeah, I think that's accurate. That's accurate.
Remember, Kel had the great idea that this would be great if this didn't happen.
It's just so good. It's like, how many of us have thought that when something really like unfortunate happened that's just stupid, Yeah,
you can say that in almost any one of the episodes.
Yeah. That's really, really funny.
Yeah, Kel gets the bulk of the blame on that. So, okay, let's see here. Any other any notes that you had about the episode? Anything left?
I really just liked how it progressed. I thought it was really smooth the whole time, and it didn't really lose pace. Like maybe a little bit. I was gonna say maybe a little bit when they like got to Rigby's, but then right away they were outside in the alley, and so there were some holes. It didn't always map out. They went to the movie and then they showed up at the restaurant. So, but overall, like very very good episode. Even with slightly distasteful Chinese jokes.
Yeah. I thought the first half was like perfect. The second half, lagged a little bit, but the escalation's so good, and each scene is like the best version of that scene. I think
So.
The couple missed jokes, but way more hits than misses. So just looking at our Ringbeats total, I have to like go through a bunch of this produce and just like kind of come up with the values for them. So I don't have the full totals yet, but this episode, 2 cans of deodorant, 1 grapefruit, a can of orange soda that Kel drinks on his own, and then 10 2-liters from him, all from
amazing
the Rigby storage.
Amazing.
Oh, I guess some detergent too.
Yep, detergent. Oh, a bottle of aspirin.
Oh, that's not Kenan's price.
That's Chris's fault for destroying it.
Yeah, Chris took that bill on his own. But perfect. Yeah, some detergents. So yeah, there. At the moment, I'm looking at the totals, and like of just the things I've counted, adding that like $300 fine from last week, and the Google Pops and all that stuff, they're like over $2,000, maybe getting close to $2,500 in stuff that they've.
No wonder Chris has headaches from Kenan working there. Like that's a lot of lost money, lost produce, lost product. Yeah,
he keeps employing him too.
Yeah. For some reason,
he's a bit of a pushover. Like he'll put up with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But okay, you ready to rate this?
I am.
So on IMDb, it's got a 7.8. Most Twitter Blues ranked 20th out of the whole run. That's pretty high. Not like very high, but pretty high. Out of 10 bottles of orange soda, what would you give this episode?
I would give it an 8 or 8.5. Yeah, so I'm kind of stuck in between those. But if I had to say conclusively, 8.5 is good.
Okay. 8.5. Just like Kel, you have not finished. You're leaving a bottle of soda unfinished.
Yeah, I'm leaving it unfinished. But no, yeah, I mean, really, really good, especially compared to some of the earlier ones, the 5s and 6s. Yeah,
it's that's a pretty even. That's not much higher than like some of the past episodes for you.
Oh really? Yeah, I'm fine tuning my honing skills. I didn't say that sentence right. I'm fine tuning my rating skills.
Yeah, you had a lot of 7s recently. I think everything that we've said so far, it's a home run of an episode. I love it. I remember from when I was a kid, and I think it's like I don't know how I'd fix it, or like make it stronger. So I've given it a 10 out of 10 bottles of orange soda.
Whoa, 10! Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm confident giving this a 10.
Nice.
It belongs like my top 5 personally.
Okay.
We'll determine later as the show goes on what that true top 5 is.
Oh, we definitely will.
But
absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's a little stronger than Tainting of the Screw, which was my other top one.
We'll have to map each episode to flights or stories of the Sears Tower.
Yeah, okay, I got it. Right, the equivalent story.
What's the top floor?
Yeah, maybe we can like loop up towards the end of the show and talk about which ones we like better and where they stand architecturally.
I like that.
But okay, so yeah, that's sounds like it for this week. Do you know what episode comes next?
Let's see. Next week we have Diamonds Are for Roger.
Yes.
I'll read the description here. We'll make that. Kenan's parents are celebrating their 17th wedding anniversary. Roger really wants to impress Cheryl, so he visits a friend who owns a jewelry store. So it looks like we're getting a little more character development from Roger.
Yeah, it starts to get to his story a little bit, but the other half of the story is Kenan and Cal think that their dad's a jewel thief.
Okay, we'll leave it at that because we don't want to give anything away.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for joining us. I hope you had a good time with this episode as we did.
And remember, if you get pizza sauce on your clothing, just throw it in the washing machine. It should come out. And if it doesn't come out, it's tomato stain doesn't come out, leave it in the sun because that is how it leaves the fabric.
Yeah, that's a good tip. Sun meets tomato sauce.
Yes. Da 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 da. That's it.
All right. So goodbye, everyone.
Oh, here it goes. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Kenan and Kel with Adam and Aaron. If you want to stay in touch, send us an email at KenanCelPodcast@gmail.com, or you can send us a voice message at anchor.fm/KenanCelPodcast. Our social media accounts are all at KenanCelPodcast. That's Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Thanks, everybody.